Hey guys, what's going on? It's iTouch Stuff here that's spelt with a zero, and I'm back. Excuse my voice because I'm kind of sick, and I'm bringing you guys a tutorial today that I find pretty awesome. And it's been around for quite a while. It's actually pretty old, but I've just recently discovered it after the Evasion jailbreak, which came out for iOS 6 and 6.1, and jailbroke the iPhone 5 and iPad mini, I believe. So check that out if you're not jailbroken yet. I don't have a video on it, but maybe if you guys want a video, I guess I can make one. But this is not about that. This is about Java on the iPhone, and basically this tutorial will show you how to compile really basic Java applications. And when I say basic, I mean like you can't even get user input, but it's still kind of cool. And hopefully, if mobile terminal ever gets advanced enough, we can start seeing some applications that can actually take user input and manipulate it. But I've just written some pretty basic test like files, Java files. But to start off, we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna show you what you need on your iPhone first. And let's just bring that up right here. So we're gonna head into Cydia, and there's actually a whole section in Cydia for Java, and you can just go to sections, and after that's done reloading the data, I can swipe down and show you. So under sections, if you scroll down to J and you see a Java section, and there's 8 things in here, you pretty much need all 8, and just by installing iPhone/Java will install almost all of them except for the compiler called Jikes. So I'll give that a second to download, and then I'll show you the rest. So just hit return to Cydia, and we need to stay within this Java folder and just click on Jikes. And it's a native faster alternative to Java's JavaEC, which is the Java compiler. And it's going to go ahead and install that. Now return to Cydia one last time. Just hit the search key in the bottom right and type in mobile terminal. That's one word, so don't like put a space between mobile and terminal, otherwise it won't come up. And the one from Xalize, I don't know, you could download from Xalize if you have the Xalize repo, but I wouldn't see why you would not just want to have the real thing from Big Boss. I'm sure it's the same, but I don't even know why Xalize has a version of mobile terminal. And you notice how one said that it was obsolete. It's because it's obsolete, so just don't download that one, and it'll be finished in a second. So just hit return to Cydia, and the last thing that you need is optional. It's iFile. Get that however you please, whether you get it from Xalize or you pay for it. And but get it if you want it. It'll make things a lot easier. Plus, it's always something good to have. And when you head back to your Springboard, you should see Terminal, Hello Java, and Hello Script. Now, as of right now, Hello Script, if I click on it, it does nothing. Same as Hello Java. And they basically function on older versions of iOS, but they don't function anymore. And they were basically just demonstrations with some source code on things that you can run and test. But I have my own source code here that I can show you. Um, and if I just head in, I use Dr. Java pretty much for everything that I write Java-wise. And I've written 4 pretty basic applications or lines of code to demonstrate for you guys, and I'll explain to you what each one of them does. Let me just compile all of them. So the printer one is really, really basic. It just prints out my name and a new line. And then printer stand, because I wanted to see if you could have a standalone class and a driver class, for those of you who know what that means, running on your iPhone. And to my surprise, you actually can. So I'll show you how to do that. You just need to have both of them. So this is the print class with a standalone and the driver for that standalone class. And then I also have a scanner test. This is basically a way to get user input. Like, so if I was to run this here at the bottom, I could type in something, say 10, and it'll display it back to me. That's getting user input. But I just wanted to show, well, you'll see in a second, in mobile terminal, this will just throw a lot of errors at you. So there are actually a couple ways that you can get your .java files to your iPhone. I prefer to do it actually through email because it's just quite simple, but you could also have something like CyberDuck and open up an SSH connection. So if I just put in the IP for my iPhone, which I think is this if I can remember, and the default password is always Alpine and the username is always root. You can change the password though, and if I just hit connect, I can see my iPhone's file system. Look up a tutorial on CyberDuck if you want to do it this way, but I prefer to just go through your email simply because you don't have to download anything else. And also, very interesting, if you use something like Dr. Java and you already compile them, you can also send over to your iPhone the .class files, and it'll like take out a really tedious step in mobile terminal that you'll see later on. For now, I'm just going to go to my Yahoo and just compose a quick email to myself. And I'm just going to go ahead and attach those files. I think it's printer, and I'm going to attach the .java files because we're going to be compiling in mobile terminal. I know it's annoying, but you can just send the .class if you already have them compiled. Nope. I want the printer stand and print test and scan. We need scan test. And I'm just going to click open. Then we're just going to go ahead, hit send, and send anyway. I don't need a subject. I'm going to head back to my iPhone for you guys. So I'm just going to open up my mail application and just going to check for some mail. So as you can see, I got this new attachment right here, and here's where if you have iFile, it'd be good to have because you can go ahead, click on these, or actually hold down on it, and it'll give up an option to open it in iFile. But however, if you're using CyberDuck, you don't need iFile, just know the directory that you're putting it in, but I'm assuming most of you have iFile. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is open each one of these in iFile, and just cancel and just head back, and I'll come back to you once I open each one. Alright, so I have the last one opened up here, and as you can see now I have 4 new files in my var mobile documents directory. I have printer, print stand, print test, and scan test, all .javas, so they aren't compiled yet, but that's what we're about to do. And so if you had gone the CyberDuck route or iFunbox route, just make sure that you know where these files are stored because we're going to need to know the exact directory in which they're saved to. So for this tutorial, I'll be using var mobile documents for everything. And let's go ahead and open up mobile terminal. First thing we need to do here is type in cd to change the directory as you would on any terminal. And then we're going to type in the path to the directory that our files are contained in. So in my case, I'm using var and then mobile and capital D documents. And if I just hit enter. Okay, so now that we're in the documents directory, as we can see right there, it says \documents and then mobile $. We can go ahead and start to compile these. And this is the step that I said is pretty tedious because you're going to have to enter in the same class path every time. And there's no copy and paste function in mobile terminal, so sorry about that. And we're going to go ahead, since Jikes is our compiler for iPhone, we're going to type in Jikes, and then we're going to type in the name of our file. So I'll do printer first. So we're going to do printer.java, or whatever your file name is. And I'll have these files for download in the description if you want to try this out yourself if you don't know how to write something in Java. And then we're going to do this for every single one that we want to compile. -cp space \usr \lib, that's both short for user and library, and then \rt.jar. We're going to hit enter, and this should just come up. And now if we go ahead, I'm going to quit out of this. We go back into iFile and go back into documents. You can see that we have a printer.class file within our directory. So we're going to go ahead and run that. So as you can see, as I said earlier, it'd be a lot easier if you just had the .classes there already, so you don't have to go type in that long command. But you can also just do it mobily, I guess, if you'd like. And to actually run an application, if you have the .class, now that we do, we just type in Java space, and then we're going to type in the name of it. So I think it's printer, and nothing after that. Since it's a .class file, we don't have to say anything. And now notice how I got an error. That's because I quit out of mobile terminal, and mobile terminal does not have a multitasking functionality. So every time you quit out and go back in, it'll actually restart. So we have to actually re-navigate back to that directory that I was in. You wouldn't have to do this if you didn't quit out like I did. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that real quick. So just make sure that you're in the directory that you're supposed to be in with your files in there. We're going to go ahead and type in Java and then the name of your .class file. And as you can see here, it printed out iTouch stuff just like we wanted. And if you want to go try this in Dr. Java, let's go ahead and run the printer itself, and we're going to hit run, and our result is iTouch stuff, just as it is on the iPhone, so you can see it clearly works. And now what we're going to go ahead and do is use a driver class and a standalone class, and this is pretty interesting because it actually works. I'm going to go ahead and compile both of those files that I had and just show you that it actually works. Okay, so as you guys can see in those last few commands that I entered in right there, I basically just compiled both the printstand.java file and the printtest.java file. If you're wondering why it's named printstand, it stands for standalone class, and then the printtest is just a test of that standalone class. So now I'm not going to go back into iFile because I don't want to quit out and relocate to my directory, but if you were to go back into iFile, you would see that you now have a .class version of both printstand and printtest, and we're just going to go ahead and run the driver, which is printtest, and hit enter. And as you can see there, it printed out iTouch stuff, which is also pretty cool. If we went back into Dr. Java or whatever you wrote your program in, and we see that we have printstand and printtest. What we're doing here is that we have a standalone class called printstand, and in here the constructor basically takes a string variable and sets the instance variable string within here to whatever was entered. And as you can see here, we constructed or we instantiated a new printstand object with parameter iTouch stuff, and then when we print that out using the toString method that I have, it should give us iTouch stuff as well. So if we were just to run this, also prints out iTouch stuff. So that's pretty cool. Now, unfortunately, I did not get a chance to test this with classes that extend one another, so like parents and subclasses. But I'm assuming just based on that test right there, it should work as long as you have both of the .class files for each within your directory. And it also should work with implementation of interfaces, if you guys know what that means. And just the last thing I want to show you guys is basically just to prove that user input can't happen yet with a simple scanner program that I wrote, and I already demonstrated that for you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and compile that and just come back to you. So as you can see when I compiled it, because when you import Java and Dr. Java has this whole structure behind it where it can go back and access necessary files that are defined in the API. So that's what import statements basically do. And since the iPhone doesn't have that, they're basically a scanner class does not exist. And if you wanted it to exist, you'd have to go back and basically import the whole Java file system in the background, and then you, I guess, technically be able to use a scanner class, but who knows if mobile terminal would even allow that to happen after that. And so it just gives you a bunch of errors everywhere it says scanner in the file. And if I was to go and run this Java scan test, it would just throw another error. But as I've demonstrated already, if I was to go and run this on a computer and say Dr. Java, and I ran it, it would actually give me a little dialog box or a little area where I can put in input and just put in any number, and there you go. So basically, this is, as I said, a pretty simple way to compile and run very simple and basic Java applications on your iPhone, iPad, and iPod Touch. And so I thought this was pretty cool, considering that I take a Java course in school, and I can kind of relate to it. I hope you guys can as well. And if not, I hope you watch this video for pure entertainment and maybe actually start to pick up on the Java language. And hopefully this tutorial, even though for the iPhone, might inspire you guys to go and learn Java or any programming language for that matter. I hope you guys like this video. Go ahead, subscribe if you like what you saw, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.